Thinking about upgrading your home? Hello, I'm Philip Pantana. Whether you want a modern kitchen, a stunning bathroom, a sturdy deck, or even a brand new addition, our company, Perimeter Remodeling and Restoration, can make it happen. From quick interior repairs to full-scale renovations, homeowners trust us for expert craftsmanship and excellent service, always delivered with the care you deserve. Schedule your free consultation now at perimeterva.com. Call or text 434-515-2868.
Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM, you're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Talk Local to Me. I am Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition. And yet again, it's such a sad day, but yet again, I do not have Mike Norfield here with me. His chair, however, is not empty, though, because it has been, I don't want to say stolen, but like borrowed by my guest. My guest came in and said, well, if Mike's not coming, I'm going to sit in his chair. And I said, go for it, because obviously it's not being used by Mike. So, no, Mike has got some things going on at work. And, you know, I think it's I just want to kind of touch on this. Like, we're in the middle of the year, right? It's May. Schools are getting out. Summer's coming up. People are getting ready to go on vacations. I want to just kind of say, because I think sometimes we get so caught up in the day-to-day. Like, we have a lot of work stuff. We have a lot of things going on, and we put a lot on our plates. I know I do. Yeah. I know Mike does. Matt, I'm sure you. I mean, yeah, everyone, Woody in there. It is okay to say no. You know, it's okay. I joke with Mike when he messages me and says, hey, I have a lot going on. There's just no way I can make it to the podcast. Like, I joke with him and I say, you know, I don't like you anymore, or I'm going to fire you from the podcast, or, you know, I give away his seat. But that's good. It's good mental health to say, like, I just won't have it in me today. I just can't do it. You know, sometimes there are more things important than coming in here and chatting with me, which I don't know what, but you know, I'm sure there are things, and that's what Mike is doing today.
I'm sure if it's something that's that important, that it's probably not fun, and he would much rather be here.
Yes, I agree. And I know he was trying to make it work out because he thought maybe he was going to make it in, and then it didn't work out. But I just wanted to say that because I think May is also like Mental Health Awareness Month, isn't it? I believe it is. It's a couple things. So I just wanted to kind of focus. I just wanted to kind of say that it's okay to say no. I'm trying to get better about that. I'm not really doing that great because I'm now the PTA president of my daughter's middle school. So that happened, and I didn't really say no to that. But I like to be involved with things. You know, my older two kids I can't get involved with them anymore because, you know, they're older and they don't need mama so much, but they're grown up. And so I still have a 13-year-old who, well, she would tell you she doesn't need me. As soon as I told her I was president of the PTA, she was like, oh my God, Mom, are you going to be at the school dances? I was like, every one of them. Literally, I'm going to hold your hand. Like, I'm going to come in and hug you.
I'm sure she'd rather have you there than her dad.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, but yeah, I just thought that, you know, even though Mike's out and Woody is here today, he didn't ditch me this week, which is nice, but he's not behind the control panel. We have Emma back. I'm so excited to have Emma back. But I know they have a lot going on. And so going into the summer, take time for yourself. Say no if you need to. That way when the, you know, things start to pick up and get busy once school starts again, you're going into the holidays and all that winter crazy time of year. You've kind of had some time to refresh, rethink, and reset. And so, and we talked about that at our Empower event this past week, which was a fabulous event. So for those women that attended, good for you. Hopefully you walked away with some great information, and our speakers were just phenomenal. I can't say we had so many good things. It was a wonderful event. We had over 130 women there. Chick-fil-A, of course, did their job and brought delicious chicken for lunch. And we had Sweet Indulgence Bakery and Donegal Bowls for breakfast, and so many like fun little giveaways throughout the day. So great event. And I am excited because that is my last major event until Centerfest. So I have a couple of months to not be running around like crazy. And it's nice. It's very nice. I mean, we have our normal coffee talks, which happen, every month. Of course, next week we are at Omega Disaster Restoration right off of 29 heading towards Rustburg area. So like if you're heading, not Alta Vista, Rustburg, sort of like if you're heading up past, near Highland Heights Baptist Church, we're right across the street there. So that's where we are next Friday. But I don't have anything like major crazy, which is nice. So I'm looking forward to that. So,
yeah.
But I'm sure that my guest has things picking up because summer has officially hit, I would say.
Not as bad as we typically see about this time of year. It has actually been kind of quiet, and I'm just quietly knocking on the table here in front of me because I don't want to jinx this. But, the temperatures haven't really spiked terribly yet this year, so everybody's kind of like in that in-between lull between really needing the heat and really needing the AC.
Well, it's because today I'm chilly because it's cool out today. But there's been I want to say this past weekend was like that perfect day. Like it was perfect temperature. It had like a light breeze. I feel like I'm talking, what's the movie?
Miss Congeniality.
Yeah, Miss Congeniality.
Describe your perfect date.
Your perfect date.
And Mike's dying right now because he's not here to say it.
I know, right? But I loved it. I loved that. It was just a fabulous day. But I'm here with Matt Litchford with Davis Heating, Cooling, Electrical. And he's been on the show before, but we like to bring some of our guests back when we have things going on, things to talk about. And of course, going into the summer or the winter, which is when we normally tend to have, you guys kind of in when you kind of see those changes of season and people are worried about like maintenance or, they're just starting their, AC. It's been off for 6 months or so. And then, dealing with like electrical issues and things like that. So it's always good to have you guys back on to chat about, stuff people can be looking for or can be doing for their systems and stuff like that.
It's always good to be here.
So let's talk a little bit first about, you said May is National
Electrical Safety
Month. I should have known because there's a month for like everything. So what does that kind of mean? And I guess like just being cautious about what you're doing with electrical.
Yeah, to bring awareness to people of the things that they should look for as far as like electrical safety is concerned. Especially now in 2025, the use of extension cords should be outlawed. And there are so many unsafe things that I see go on a day-to-day basis with just people overloading things and maybe not using the correct equipment. So it's just, there's a lot of education that can be done, a lot of awareness that can be brought to how to do things safely and correctly.
Well, and it's probably important to like, not even just us as an adults, but being able to share that with like your children in the house. Cause I know there's a lot of times I'll see Riley doing something and I'm like, no, like don't plug it into that, plug it, over here or, I guess, yes, the overloading. Like, oh, I got my curling iron over here and then my hair dryer is plugged in and then you've got, this and that.
Plug strips plugged into plug strips and.
Yeah. But I think it's important too, like just to tell them like, don't mess with this or don't touch that or, even as an adult, there are people out there that I see think, oh, I know what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm just going to go listen. Hello, my dad. No, I'm just kidding.
And there are a lot of folks too that don't even have some of the safety equipment in place in their homes, that they should have, GFCI receptacles where water is present, for example. Another new thing that is now a part of the new electrical code is to have surge protectors in all of your breaker panels to protect you from a power surge if there happens to be, a surge in the power grid or lightning strike, something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So at my house, I can't run my dishwasher and my microwave at the same time.
Sounds like you need to call our office and set up a free estimate.
And it is so annoying. Like I'll be like, oh, I'm going to warm up my coffee while my dishwasher's going to, and it pops. And I'm like, crap. And then like the dishwasher wants to start from the beginning again. And it's like, it only had 20 minutes left. It makes me so annoyed. But yeah, I think things like that too, if you're having issues, like, you have too many things on one circuit. Is that what it is?
Yeah. And things like that trip for a reason. because there's, an overload or a short circuit present. And a lot of folks are like, oh, that dang breaker just keeps tripping and it won't stop. And I just keep turning it back on and it trips. There's a problem, and you should really have that addressed. It's not just as simple as an inconvenience of the breaker tripping.
Thanks for sharing. That is what I do. And my husband's just like, you're not supposed to use that at the same time. And he keeps saying, I got to fix that. But we haven't gotten there yet. This will be the one episode he listens to.
Probably.
I'm just letting you know. One episode. So
sorry, Chris.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it is important because you see a lot of like house fires and stuff start because of electrical problems, or, and it could be something that's simple that you could have caught ahead of time or fixed or not done to cause the issue.
Yeah. And a lot of the things that they add to the electrical code, it's forever, always evolving and having new things added to it. And the things that they add to it come from situations like that, like, oh, this freak thing happened during this house fire, but now we know this is a possibility. Mm-hmm. So we're going to design this, or we're going to enforce a certain, type of way to install something in order to try to keep that from happening again in the future. So kind of staying in the theme of electrical, before we head over to like heating and air or heating and cooling, I'm just going to say, but you guys also are Generac dealers, correct? Yes. And one of the things that I know going into the summer months, you start to see a lot of those pop-up storms. You got to see, you see some that are, really bad. They're cutting off your power. Oh yeah. Tree limbs are falling on power lines or whatever. At my house, the wind just blows and my power says, not today. Mm-hmm. So, do you see kind of an uptick of people looking for those, like for, generators and stuff during this time? I feel like it kind of is a swing right now. And then like, of course, in the winter when, the snow comes or ice, but generators are typically one of those things that people always realize that they want or need in hindsight. Mm-hmm. So typically until we have that first batch of bad storms that comes through with the first heat wave or something, we don't see a whole lot of that. And then as soon as everyone we have one of the major power outages or something, then everybody's like, we really need to get a generator. Yeah. So, a little bit of forethought in that. Typically when that happens, there's also a lot of other people that want a generator as well. So, there may be supply issues, have a little bit longer wait, or scheduling maybe, we may be scheduling further out because of a bigger demand. So it's always better. I still try to, kind of preach that to people that, an ounce of prevention kind of thing. So, you want to be prepared, and waiting until after it's already happened is unfortunately a lot of what we see. And y'all have, do you have like different sizes, like for different, like, so like, what if you just wanted to get like a smaller size that just, you just know you need to run a few certain things, like, or can you get, I'm sure you can get whole house ones, but can you get smaller ones? Yeah. You can get the little portable generators, and there's actually a way that you can either put what's called a manual transfer switch in place with that so that it only controls certain circuits in the house, or you can also just have it, where what you want to control. So you just kind of turn everything else off when the generator's on. Good to know. And then you have the whole house options, and they come in a variety of different sizes, and they can run anything. Basically they come in all the sizes to run anything you would ever want to run with it. Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I was thinking about my dad because I've been trying to get him to get a generator because he has oxygen. He's fully reliant on oxygen, and he has one of those concentrators that's plugged into the wall. And so, my concern too is that there's going to be a day that he doesn't have power and no access to it because he has one of those pull start, one of those generators you go out, not pull start. Yeah, but he's not going to get out there and do that himself. Well, that's right. He's not able to. And while my son lives there, he has their basement right now. He's working out of town for 3 months. So if it happens to happen during the week when he's not there and he can't go out there and do it for them, that's what I'm trying to explain to him. And that's kind of why I asked about, a smaller version, because of course my dad is all about how much it's going to cost and all the things. But I'm like, is there a way to get something at the very least that could at least power up his concentrate, his oxygen and stuff like that. Although I still think they need more of a home house thing, but still. I think so too. And honestly, with the Generac air-cooled generators, the ones that come on and start by themselves when the power goes out, the only difference in the installation to change sizes in the generator is the generator itself. And I mean, it is a few $100s, between each size. But at the end of the day, it's not a huge price increase when you're already spending, the amount of money that it costs to get one.
Right. See, I just think that would be more helpful to have something like that.
And he doesn't even have to worry about the cost because Davis offers a variety of financing options.
That was actually going to be one of my other questions was, do you guys offer financing on something like that?
We offer financing based on anything that you qualify for. There's actually a link on our website, www.davishc.com, and you just click on the financing button and you go in there and you get pre-approved and we take it from there.
Okay. I think that would be a good idea. So I'm going to keep trying to get that through his head that we need to do that. So talking about like the heating and cooling side of it, people are just like you said, I know the weather's been kind of wonky. So we've had to turn on our AC. We tried to, hold off until the very last minute. We've had a couple of 80-degree days and we've turned the AC on, and I've seen people posting around social media about, well, they've turned it on and it's not working, or, they're having issues with it. And, which goes into the importance of maintaining, having the maintenance done on it prior to, right?
Yes. Actually, typically our busiest months for our maintenance plan customers are April and October. You get it taken care of for the cooling season in April before you really need it. And then we hit it again in October for you before the heating season begins.
Do you know, and I know you handle more of the electrical side, so I don't want to like throw anything at you that maybe, so if you don't, just say, Heather, stop talking. But do you know, like, what are some of the things that your crews see are more of an issue when people are starting up their AC units? Like, what are some of the problems?
Well, it depends on the type of system. Typically, so if it's a heat pump system, then you use basically the whole system all year long. So we see with those, we just see lack of maintenance is one of the huge problems that we see. Stopped up coils, stopped up filters, things like that. Capacitors are a huge issue. They go bad in the outdoor unit. So it's just, depends. There's a long list of things that are kind of like, the regular culprits, so to speak. And
I know a lot of times, like do they still have Freon? Do they still need to have
Yes. Well, Freon is actually a brand name. It's called refrigerant.
Oh, refrigerant. Well, because I know the refrigerant that I have for our home, because our home is like a double wide, it's older. That refrigerant is no longer even, I don't even know if it's available anymore, or if it is, it's super expensive.
I think you guys probably still have an R22 system, and it is very expensive.
I think so. Yeah. I know we put in a new system years ago, but I can't remember if we swapped over or not. But I do remember when we were looking at it even back then, it was the refrigerant, because at first we tried, to fix the unit by just adding Freon. And he was like, you're going to pay it was a couple $100s just for the Freon. And he was like, and that might even work. Like, it may just blow all out, and you're just going to waste that money. He said, so I'm telling you that ahead of time, that you're looking at potentially blowing this money. And fun for us, we blew all that money because it didn't work. So we ended up having to get a new unit. But I do know that, things like that, which is why I say talk to professionals, because things are always changing.
Yes. Actually, we just had another refrigerant change here in the last couple of months, and it has been a nightmare.
Yeah.
A lot of manufacturers switched to another new refrigerant, and there is a supply shortage for the actual refrigerant right now. So we're always kind of battling things like that behind the scenes, and that's a lot of what goes into, everything's gotten so expensive for everyone now, and a lot of our price increases are caused by things like that because, the change will already cause a price increase, and now we've got this shortage, so that's causing more price increases, and it's just kind of like that giant snowball that we all run in front of every day at the office and try to stay out in front of it.
Now, so I know I feel like there's a new heating and cooling company that starts up in our area
quite often
every week. But what, you've been with Davis Heating, Cooling, Electrical for a while. And I know Richard, who owns it, has been in this, field for a very long time. What would you say kind of sets you guys, I wouldn't really say apart, but what do you think is the strength behind Davis Heating, Cooling, Electrical? Like what kind of, I am going to say, what sets you guys apart from like others in the area?
One of the things that we've kind of started using is maybe not really a slogan officially, but you see a lot with our social media posts is that we like to say Davis is dependable. We get so many folks call in. They're like, well, we had an appointment with XYZ company and they just didn't even show up or, something like that. And we don't want to be that company. We want you to know that if you call us, we're going to be there when we say we're going to be there, and we're going to do what we say we're going to do. And we're going to make sure the customer's happy every time.
Yeah, I do see a lot of that. And not even just with the HVAC, but it seems like service providers in general, like any type of that service industry, I'm seeing a lot of people on Facebook that are like, oh, we've called this company, but they haven't gotten back to us yet, or they come out and claim they could do this, X, Y, and Z, and they couldn't, which leads me into my next soapbox speech that you guys hear from me all the time, which is the importance of dealing with somebody licensed, insured, and, who has experience in what you're looking for. So I feel like maybe not so much on the HVAC side. You don't see too many. I don't think I hear as many people going, oh, I can fix your heat pump. But on the electrical side, I feel like you have a whole lot of people that think, oh, I got a screwdriver and I can go out there and I can fix this electrical.
Home Depot will sell me everything I need to burn your house down.
Yeah, exactly. So talk a little bit about the importance of working with you guys because of, how you guys are trained.
Yeah. Well, it's not even the training. It's the fact that working with a company like Davis, we're an established company. We have so many years of experience in our business, and we have, I'm not trying to knock any of the smaller companies because I get, that being an owner operator is the hardest job in the world. And I'm not trying to knock that at all, but working for a company like Davis, we have a team in place. So if you call, somebody's going to answer the phone and we're going to set an appointment, and somebody's most likely going to be there within 24 hours to give you a quote. And then if it's possible, we're going to be back within 24 more hours to fix it for you if we can't fix it the same day. So it's just, that's the advantage of working with a larger company like us and a company that has the people in place that we have, is that we have systems in place to make sure that our customers get taken care of very efficiently.
Yeah. So I agree with all of that you just said. It's so important, guys. I know y'all hear me talk about this all the time. You're probably just like, I don't want to hear it again. But I just feel that when you are dealing with, whether it's HVAC, electrical, painting, landscaping, if you're dealing with something big, something that you're putting a lot of money into, something that is a major project, something that could potentially affect your home, please have a professional do it. Make sure they're licensed and insured so that if something goes wrong, you are covered on that end. Do not just let some guy down the street bring his ladder to your house and climb up on your roof and check to see that the shingles are fine, or build a deck. Or, again, go out and try and fix your breaker box, or just don't. I get it. You want to save money. I know times are tough. I know times are tight. And, maybe 2 times out of 10, the person might actually fix it and there be no more issues. But what about the other times? You know what I mean? And if sometimes your house burns down because they did something with your electrical, more than likely your homeowners isn't going to cover it if some guy down the street just went in there and played around with all the circuits and messed stuff up. I'm going to pretty much think that's going to be a big old negative on, getting anything back on that. So I preach it a lot, and I'm going to keep doing it. So anytime y'all hear a service provider is coming on the show, just get ready for it. Just go ahead and allot yourself about 2 minutes of Heather on her soapbox talking about the importance of being licensed and insured. And, when we work with small businesses in our area, that's why we do this, is why we bring it, because we want you to talk to these small business owners that have worked really hard to get where they are and to be able to provide the services that, you need locally and efficiently and effectively. See, okay, there we go. So before we go, tell everyone how they can get a hold of you over at Davis, or a technician. Maybe not. Maybe not Matt. Matt isn't the sole person there, but how can they get a hold of Davis Heating, Cooling, and Electrical?
Well, you can either stop by our office, which is right behind the City Stadium at 3310 Naval Reserve Road. You can't miss it. It's been said that it can be seen from space. You can call the office 434-385-7039, or you can visit our website at www.davishc.com.
So we ask our guests 2 questions, and Mike will be so proud of me for remembering this without him here. The first question is, how long have you guys been a member? And I'm going to throw in member/sponsor of the CVABC, because y'all have been for at least,
I think 3 years now.
At least 3 years. And what would you say is the biggest benefit to that?
Well, I always say just the people, but I'm also going to expand on that. It's the relationships that you build with the people that you meet here. The people at the CVABC are not just like every other stuffy networking group in town where you meet somebody at the meeting, at the coffee talk or whatever, and you see them on the street and they don't even recognize you. Like, you'll build real lasting relationships and friendships with the members here.
I mean, I agree, but I'm partial to the CVABC. But I do. I always say that our group is more like, I feel like a family feel to some degree.
Big dysfunctional family.
Yeah. But I mean, there's times we'll be somewhere and they'll be like, oh, does anyone want to go grab breakfast or grab lunch? We kind of extend it from, just some of those meetings. Or if people walk in our office and, I'll have people walk in and just be like, hey, just stop by to say hi. Just needed somewhere to sit down for a minute. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. Awesome. And I hear so many great stories between our members, or I see posts on social media of our members that have worked together or are building, collaborative efforts together. And I think that's one of the things that I love the most about working with small business owners. Should I tell them our fun fact?
Sure.
For anyone who doesn't know our fun fact.
Sure, go for it.
Do you know what I'm going to tell them?
I have a good feeling.
Yeah. So, fun fact, you want to talk about people being able to do business with each other. How many people that are listening in can say that they work closely enough with their ex-husband that they can have them on a podcast here, and we're not trying to kill each other? And no, I'm just kidding.
Or even one better, a couple of years ago when you introduced my wife as your ex-husband's new wife at the Empower.
I did do that. But yeah. So for those of you who ever listened in or heard me talk about Autumn, she's my events director and does a lot. That is our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And we have probably been divorced longer than we were married.
Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. But we grew up, we knew each other all through high school. But, we have been friends for a very long time. And I'm very blessed and grateful to say that we were one of those couples that have been able to do that. And, for our daughter, but now to even have more of a business style relationship too, because I know I can refer Matt out and I know he's going to do a good job. And when you can say that, when somebody can say that about their ex, because it's very rare you're going to hear that. Believe me, when I say, I feel, I'm comfortable with that. If I say, I think that's important. So I like to share that for that reason alone, is that I feel, when I'm able to give a referral out like that,
thank you.
People should know that I'm serious about it, because most people would be like, oh my God, let me tell you about him.
Don't call that guy.
Don't call that dude. But anyway, I am very grateful for, Matt's support of the CVABC and Davis's support of the CVABC as well. So I just like to throw that fun fact out to people because, I think
the more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. But we're still a family. Look at us going on over here. But we're going to cut to a quick commercial, and then we are going to be back, and we are going to be talking with Joel Batigi he's the owner of 633 Mortgage, and he can probably shine some light on the fact that you shouldn't have someone come in and do your electrical for you either. Today's podcast is brought to you by Omega Disaster Restoration, located in Campbell County, Virginia. Omega specializes in water, fire, and smoke damage restoration, as well as mold remediation. Their region includes Central and Southwest Virginia, which spans a vast service area from Blacksburg to Charlottesville and Stanton to Danville.
In addition to disaster restoration and full-service reconstruction and remodeling, Omega is proud to offer custom all-wood cabinets through their Hanover Woodworking Studio, custom countertops via their Top Solution Studio, and dumpster services through Old Dominion Dumpsters, all part of the Omega family of brands. A beautiful showroom is currently under construction at their Exchange Drive location and will be soon open to the public. showcasing their diverse offering.
Customers can call 434-616-4659 for emergency assistance with water, fire, smoke damage, or mold remediation needs. Omega provides 24/7 emergency response, ensuring that help is always available. Locally owned and not a franchise, Omega is your first and last call in any emergency, restoring your home or business from beginning to end. For more information about Omega Disaster Restoration and their comprehensive services, please visit omegadisasterrestoration.com/VA/Lynchburg.
One thing protects it all, your roof. And when you've got a new one, you're set for decades. I'm Andrew Lee. Our company, Perimeter Roofing and Exteriors, is trusted by homeowners and businesses for all roofing and exterior projects. Shingles, metal, slate, gutters, windows, siding, decks, and more. Perimeter Roofing and Exteriors is your go-to for all protection and efficiency. Get your free no-hassle inspection today. Call or text 434-515-2868. Perimeter Roofing and Exteriors, protecting from the top down.
And thank you to Perimeter Roofing and Omega Disaster Restoration for being sponsors of the Talk Local to Me podcast. If you are listening in and you would like to hear your commercial played during the podcast or before, get in touch with us because it is extremely easy to do. It's only $100 a month. And you got to think, people are listening into to live, but then it plays every single time somebody uploads the podcast and listens in and streams it. So if you want something affordable that you can either come in and do your own commercial like you heard Perimeter did, or Mike and I can do a host read commercial like Omega's. So you got to hear both of those. But yeah, so $100, check us out. Give us a call if you are interested in sponsoring Talk Local to Me. We are now going to switch gears over to kind of like a little home episode today. I feel like I like it. We are going to be talking with Joel Batigi. I said that right. Batigi, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to make sure. And he is the owner of 633 Mortgage. And so welcome to Talk Local to Me. It's good to have you here.
It's great to be here.
I'm glad to have Joel here. I had to reschedule him a couple of weeks ago and I felt so bad. I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm going to get you in. I promise we're going to get in here quick. So I guess to just start, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I am a local mortgage broker and I've been in the mortgage business for 20 years and relocated here to the Forest area just about 3 years ago. And about 2 years ago, I decided to start my own mortgage brokerage company. And I've been building that and helping people buy homes and working with realtors and just getting people approved for loans and getting them in their homes. So things are really picking up right now. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So what is, and I know you can't necessarily like say that this is what the market, but I mean, how is the market trending right now? Like, is it, because I know at one time it was like there were more homes for sale than, no, there were more buyers than there were homes for sale.
Yeah.
And that was an issue. Kind of like, what's it looking like
that's
right
still,
now?
There's still a shortage of inventory
Okay.
overall, especially for first-time buyers that want to stay in a reasonably low payment. There's very slim pickings.
Yeah.
There's certain different stratas of home prices are better. When you get above like 350, it's a little bit less competitive, but a lot of people have turned into investors and they've scooped up all the low price homes. So it's really a rat race still. So you got to get pre-approved and have your gun loaded to get your offer accepted when you find a place. And have a really good realtor you're working with.
Everybody wants to flip houses nowadays.
Oh yeah,
It'd be like
people
flipping.
are still doing that.
See, I'd be terrified to do that. I'd be terrified to put my money into it and then like it wouldn't sell or something, and then I'd be out money and
Yeah,
that I don't know.
you got to know what you're doing.
Not much of a gambler.
Yeah, you got to know what you're doing. You gotta know what you got and what it's really going to cost to fix it and flip it or rent it. So
yeah,
it's really a lot of information you have to do it well. Yeah.
So with mortgage programs, there's a lot of different programs out there for home buyers that are looking. What are some of like the I don't want to say like the most popular, but what do more people tend to kind of fall
Yeah,
into.
most people, especially most first-time buyers, want the lowest down payment possible.
Mm-hmm.
So the traditional loans, you've got, VA, which is great. There's 100% financing if you have a VA eligibility through the Veterans Administration.
Okay.
Or FHA, which is Federal Housing Administration, which is 3.5% down payment. So it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you can get a gift. With any down payment, you can get a gift from relatives if you've got a mom and dad
Okay.
help you out buy your first home. And then there's also conventional loans, which for first-time buyers, if you're within a certain income range, you can do 3% down. So there's several options. There's a couple other options too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that most folks I find want to have a minimal down payment. So that's what's most popular because you've got a lot of expenses moving in a home being a first-time buyer.
Right. Yeah. So, and I heard, and hopefully I'm not putting you on the spot, but isn't there some new, it's something that just came out about like if your parents didn't buy, what is it, generation?
Yeah. If you're the first generation buyer,
yes, at first
your
generation
parents didn't own a home. There's the Virginia Housing Development Authority, which they'll give you a 2% lower interest rate.
Right.
Now they start you higher at the beginning, so it's not as. I mean, I don't want to over exaggerate the truth of it, but it's good. I mean, if you can buy a house with zero down, their Virginia Housing Development Authority is a great tool as well.
So when that first came out, like I saw people talking about it. The only thing that like got me was, well, if my parents have a home, then I can't get one now. You know, like that was
no.
I mean, most people's parents would assume own a home or to some degree. You know,
it's just for like if you're the first generation of homeowner in your family.
In your family, okay,
that's a special little caveat that they just threw out there for people that are.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just a little thing that obviously a lot of people are not going to qualify for it,
mm-hmm.
but the ones that do, great, get you in there and get your foot in the door and make the American dream come true, you know.
Now, do you also work with like refinancing?
Absolutely.
Or home equity lines of credit sort of deal? Okay.
Yep. Refinancing. A lot of people, especially over the past few years, COVID's been rough on a lot of people, and you rack up credit card debt and you want to refi to pay off your credit card debt and get a clean start.
Mm-hmm.
Either of those tools is good. Home equity loans are a little bit harder to qualify for because they have higher credit score requirements, but cash out refinances are pretty easy as long as you got the equity.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have credit and income as well. But, there's definitely those tools. Home equity loans are really good for people that want to build a deck or put a pool in or remodel their kitchen or bathroom or something like that. Or a new roof. There's all kinds of reasons. And you can also use the money for starting a business if you want it with a home equity loan.
Right.
So there's all kinds of possibilities with that. Yeah.
So speaking of like credit for somebody who's out there, like they're a first time home buyer, or maybe they're not, but they're looking at buying a home or refinancing. What like credit score is kind of like optimal should they be looking at?
Optimal is,
well, I mean, I guess optimal is like really good, but like what's your lower base? Like, what can you get away with is what I guess what I'm asking around here.
Yeah, that's a good question. Generally they want to see a 620 as a baseline. I can go down to 580 though with some programs.
Okay. Higher interest though, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they hit you with a rate, and you get a rate. You get the best rate if you do have above 780. So that's the higher strap.
If you have above a 780, I'd like to meet you. Yeah. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not really that hard. You just got to know how to navigate the credit system, and I can help you. I can help counsel anyone. Who because I get I'll get calls from people that have a 500 credit score or 480 or something, and they just don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
So just navigate the credit system because it's a little bit tricky, but just got to get a few key points. Key ingredients how to bake that cake.
I'm glad you mentioned that though, because I know in the past I have seen where, especially younger kids, they went to college, they got swept up in like, oh, you can get all these credit cards. And that was me.
Me too.
Here I am. Like literally though, I walked onto campus and there were like credit card companies that had tables set up and they were like, oh, you're approved. And I felt like Kristen Wiig on, you ever see the Target commercial? Like when she does Target on Saturday Night Live and she's like, oh, you're approved. So that's how I felt like every table I went to was like approved. And then I'm like, yeah, pizza. I'm going to get pizza tonight and this and that. So, and then you're looking at and then you're like, yeah, I don't have a job. How am I paying this monthly payment? So, so for somebody though that has that or has had, something like that happen, I think it's good to know that a lot of times you may go and not be qualified, but you guys, you can look at their scores and then walk them through a program that then hopefully will get them qualified, within 6 to 12 months.
Exactly. Give them a roadmap. If I can't approve them today, give them a roadmap to approval.
Yeah.
A roadmap to homeownership.
I think a lot of people get just defeated and think, oh, I got denied. I'm never going to own a home. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And they don't even try to see what it is they need to fix.
Right. It's not fair to just say you're denied and not give a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very common, especially with big lenders. You call a call center and oh, you're not approved, and they have no moral compass to say why or how can I help you or how can I help you achieve your goals. So being a local mortgage broker, I'm a lot more hands-on and a lot more concerned about the quality of service I'm giving than one of those big 800 numbers. And okay, you're not approved. Just
Now you work closely too with local realtors. Like I see you on your Facebook, you're always sharing out property and things like that. So for somebody that's looking to buy a home, should coming to you be kind of like their first line? Like they need to come and find out like how much are they qualified for before they start going out and just getting their hopes up and searching around and hoping they can get this $500,000 home when they're only qualified for $225,000.
Exactly. Yeah, realtors appreciate them being pre-approved because realtors, I mean, legally now for the NAR settlement last August through the LAR, which is Lynchburg Association of Realtors, they're not allowed to show a house unless they're pre-approved by a lender first. So,
all right.
So yeah, that the rule is, and realtors don't want to spin their wheels showing houses to someone who can't get qualified to buy it.
Yeah. It's not just come to an open house anymore, just, eat the snacks and walk around, pretend like, la-di-da.
The open house, that's a little caveat where you don't have to have a pre-approval. So that's a little
you can
legal door you can walk through, You've got to taste and see that you want it.
Tell my husband, let's do date day.
Let's
go to some open houses. No.
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to kind of touch on was to ask you a little bit about is like having your home appraised or do all homes have to be appraised before you can buy or sell? Like
most of the time, there are some exceptions.
Okay.
Fannie Mae has broadened sometimes they'll do what's called a property inspection waiver, where if you're putting at least 10% down, they like 20% down. But the lower the risk, if they've got enough data in the data bank that shows the value of their property you're putting in is reasonable within the algorithm, then they'll do appraisal waivers. So sometimes we don't have to do an appraisal. But those are for the at least 10% down payment, folks. But all the other loans do require appraisals. And appraisals are good because you don't want to overpay for a house. That doesn't happen very often just because of most houses aren't sitting around very long. There's just, it's more of a seller's market than it is a buyer's market. So, but yeah, good question.
And Virginia is it's a seller's state, right?
What do you mean?
Like as far as, okay, so I may be saying this incorrectly, but for example, when I had friends that moved back to this area a few years ago, and they lived in Colorado, and they couldn't, when they were trying to buy a home, they couldn't keep coming back and forth, right? So they had me go to one of the homes they wanted to see, and like I walked through and videoed it with the realtor. Okay. I don't know nothing. I'm just showing them like, here's a pretty room. Look at how cute this is. There's stairs here. There's, this here and there. So they buy the home, they move out here, and then they realize there were a lot of things that needed to be fixed or were not disclosed to them prior to, like the bathroom leaked through the ceiling in the living room, like lots of things.
Yeah.
But Virginia tends to lean towards.
I see what you're saying.
Seller.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, you know what I mean? So it's
they're-
important. But see, they didn't have an inspection.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key word, inspection. Don't buy a house without an inspection.
Right.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to lose. I mean,
I think that's what I was getting at, was make sure you
Yeah.
get a home inspection.
Home
It was a really
inspection.
long way to get there, but
yeah,
that's what I was
but
getting
like
to.
I moved from Florida, whereas Florida has more of a, I'll call it moral obligation to
Mhm.
disclose what's wrong with the house.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when we moved here, the seller doesn't have to tell you anything.
Yes,
So,
that's what I was thinking.
I don't.
Yeah.
I should know the term, but I don't have it
Yeah.
fresh in my mind. But yeah, there's a like a secrecy disclosure,
Yeah.
like unwritten rule in Virginia. So because of that, I definitely recommend a
Right.
inspection. Pay for the inspection. Make sure you know what you're getting.
Yep. Yeah, because they tried to go back, to the seller, and they were just like, too bad.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about it.
Horrible.
And it really was,
Yeah.
not cool.
No.
We were talking about prior to the inspection, what is the difference between like a tax assessment versus having somebody come out and do like the word I was always talking, it went right out of my head because it's on inspection. It's
Appraisal.
The appraisal.
That's it. The appraisal.
So
Gosh, thank you guys.
So the tax value is the county assessor's property value, and it's always lower than the market value. That's
Okay.
So that's the tax assessor has a formula they use to determine the property tax rate.
Mhm.
And it's always different. That's a good question. Very common question.
Well, yeah, because I know a lot of times people will say, "Oh, well, my tax assessment is this,"
Yeah,
and they assume that's what their home is worth, but really, it's probably worth more
a lot more.
than what it says.
Yeah, you need to call me or call a realtor, find out what the value is. I mean, you can go on Zillow.com. That's the most common
Mm-hmm.
place to look, and usually it's fairly accurate.
You just look up your home.
Yeah, just type in your address and it pops up a value.
Okay.
You can do it right now.
So show a picture of me standing on. Hello. No, I'm just kidding. I've always wanted to be there when one of those Google things come through, and I'm like, hello, like waving at people. I always thought that would be fun. So yeah. So what is one thing that you want like a home buyer to know or to think of before they come to you? Like, is there do you have certain things that like your perfect home buyer would just come in, like all this great stuff like laid out?
Oh yeah, they'd tell me how they've been on the same job for 2 years or longer.
Yes. Oh, and they didn't buy a car right before?
They didn't buy a car right
Yes.
before or during approval process. They didn't just get a new job, but there's a lot of things that I can work out.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody's perfect.
Right.
Some are more perfect than others as far as paper goes, but yeah, we've got to talk it through.
Yeah.
So what I would tell people is just call me and we'll talk, and there's no pressure.
Mhm.
Let's just have a conversation. And if you're eligible today, then great. If you're not, then we talk about a roadmap to eligibility,
Mhm.
and just there's no pressure with me.
Mm.
Not at all.
Well, and if you think about it, buying a home is probably one of the biggest purchases you're ever going to make.
It's
It's the biggest purchase aside from having
Yeah.
a kid. I mean, that's
very
a lot of
emotional
purchases.
experience because it's the largest transaction you'll probably ever do.
Yeah.
Most people will ever do financial.
absolutely.
So there's a lot of emotions involved. So there's a lot of fear. A lot of things just need to be straightened out.
Mhm.
And I've got a lot of knowledge, so knowledge can bring peace. So my goal is to just get you on track and answer every question. Let's talk for an hour if we have to,
Mhm.
whatever it takes.
So, on that note, how can they get a hold of you so that they can talk to you for an hour?
Great question. Well, I've got a phone number. So call me. You can also email me or go on my website. Those are the three main ways you can get a hold of me.
Okay.
You can DM me on Facebook if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. You can also go to the CVABC website and check out our local directory because
Yeah.
you guys are listed on there as well, both companies. So if you were listening today and you're like, oh, I want to go and check, didn't hear what you guys, said, like, go on cvabc.org and check out our member directory. So, Joel, I'm going to ask you two questions that we ask every guest. And one is, how long have you been a member? And this year you're a sponsor. So,
Right. So I signed up about 2.5 years ago.
Yep.
And as a member, and then I kind of lapsed my I didn't show up to meetings for a while. And then
He did not.
I restarted this year.
Just kidding.
I got
Looking for him.
reconnected, and got to meet you at another business group we're in. So I decided to be a sponsor, go big this year. So now I'm a sponsor, and yeah, here I am.
Awesome. What would you say is one of the best parts of being a part of the CVABC?
Yeah, the best part is networking. It's meeting people that I wouldn't meet otherwise, and just networking. The more people, it's marketing for me, because people need to know I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still a small company. I'm working on figuring out where I'm going to have my office and my assistant, because I've got to have a certain number of amount of business to support those expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in the meantime, I've got to get my name on here. I was on the billboard that you guys have.
I saw that quite a lot, actually. I was driving by and I saw your billboard quite a bit.
I loved it. So it's just getting my name out here, getting out, meeting people, letting people know that I'm here, and meeting other people. I like to shop local. Honestly, if I have a choice between shopping local or calling an 800 number, I'd prefer to shop local. And if I want people to shop with me and I'm local, I've got to kind of do the same. So I love it.
I think it's kind of like you and Matt both said. It's just the relationships between people. And it's easy for someone to, you sit behind a desk, you make cold calls. I hate cold calls.
Yeah.
I can't stand them. But when you go out, like, just come to a coffee talk. Like, we're there from 8 to 10. You never know who you're going to meet and where that meeting will take you.
Absolutely.
Like who is going to, it's like the 6 degrees of separation. Who are you going to know from who you know, and they refer you, and then it just kind of goes from there. So that's why I think, it's great. It's great to have a billboard. Don't get me wrong. It's great to have the marketing. It's great to come on the podcast. It's great to be in the magazines or doing your, Living in the Heart of Virginia segment. All of those are great. It gets people to see who you are. And we've talked a lot about branding and stuff like that. And Woody can definitely talk more about that. We talk with him quite a bit about the branding and marketing side of things. But when it really boils down to it, it's the relationships you build too that I feel are kind of the biggest piece of it, because for me, referrals are huge. And you get those referrals from people who trust you and who do business with you and have done business with you. And they feel they can, trust you enough to send you to somebody else that is usually close to them. So, I agree with you guys on the networking part. And I think a lot of people tend to not do it because they think, I've got to be behind my desk. I got to be at the office. Take 30, 45 minutes. You don't have to come for the whole 2 hours, but come and meet somebody new, and just see where it gets you. Try, and you don't have to come every month, do it once every 3 months, or just put it on your calendar, for, next month we're at, Central Virginia Flooring. So come out there and check it out. Just know now, put it on the books. So anyway, well, thank you guys both for coming in and joining me today. I think we always learn a lot when we have, our guests on, and I feel like today we've had some really good conversations about home ownership and dealing with things that are happening in your home, whether it's your HVAC and your electrical, and so it's been a lot of knowledge today. So if you've been listening in, if it's your first time listening, welcome. Glad you were here. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can listen to upcoming episodes. You can go back on grovestreet.fm and hear some of our past episodes, or wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple. Check us out. And if you've been a long-time listener, we thank you, appreciate your support, and we will be back again next Wednesday. Thank you so much.